We're going to start with the simplest type of chant, which is the vocabulary chant. A simple vocabulary chant. All we're doing right now is learning new words. 3 words. 3 words. Notice magic number 3. What I've discovered after many, many years of working, simple is better. When I first started writing, they were very complicated, long things. Forget it. Simple is wonderful. We can do so much with simplicity. We've got to choose carefully what we're doing, but we don't have to be, they don't have to be long. The chants do not have to be long to be effective. We're going to create a 3-word vocabulary chant to start. Then we're going to move that vocabulary chant into a grammar chant. We're going to add grammar to it to make it more interesting, more useful in our classroom. And then we're going to make it into a song. We're going to sing it. And that's what we're going to do. But we're going to start with our 3-word vocabulary chant. Now, step 1, choose a topic. Something of interest to the students you're working with. I'm taking the topic of sports to illustrate. But you will choose a topic that your class would find interesting. Maybe it's food, maybe it's toys, maybe it's, I don't know what, musical instruments, maybe it's the weather, I don't know. You'll know. Choose a topic. Now, once you have your topic, you're going to write 5 or 6 words on that topic. For example, I'm choosing sports. So you'll see what I've written on the board. Baseball, basketball, golf, volleyball, soccer, whatever, you know, whatever sports your students love, those are the sports you would have. You know, you would, you know, probably soccer would be very popular. I don't know. But you'll have the names of the sports. Let's say 5 or 6 names is fine of whatever you have. Now, here comes, in a way, the most important part. At home, you're working. You say each word. For example, baseball. And you must listen to how many sounds in each word. This is very, very important, the number of sounds. We're going to work just like the poets do. We care about how many sounds, because that's going to make it musical when we know how to play with the sounds. Most words in English are 1, 2, or 3 sounds. American English is 1, 2, or 3 sounds. There are words with more sounds, but the great majority of words fall into that 1 sound, 2 sounds, or 3 sounds. And you'll notice this when you start working. So let's look at our words. For example, I've chosen sports. Let's look at, I'll put a few more sports on the board here just to show you. Let's take soccer. Let's take volleyball, for example. Okay, so soccer, how many sounds do you hear? 2. Baseball. 2. Basketball. 3. See, this is what's so important, and I want the students also to hear 3 or 2 or 1. You know, they're developing the ear, because it's hard for the students in the beginning. I used to work with my own at New York University, and I had a lot of Japanese students, and it's hard for them to hear those sounds and be able to distinguish 1, 2, or 3. How about golf? 1. Volleyball? 3. Exactly. So you'll see how we've got 1, 2, or 3. Now here I'm going to give you the magic formula for your 3 words. The magic formula is 2, 3, 1. And what that means is you're going to have 3 words. First word must have 2 sounds. Second word must have 3 sounds. Third word, 1. And if you follow that pattern, whatever you do is beautiful, is musical. You will see how beautiful it is to chant it, how nicely it goes into music, how beautiful it is, no matter what the subject. Let me show you how nice it is with these. Look at this. Let's just say it together. Baseball.
Baseball.
Basketball.
Basketball.
Golf.
Golf.
Now, what we're going to do is the rhythm. This is something so exciting and wonderful that the brain people figured out the last 5 or 10 years. They've been studying the brain, what it does, 2 sides of the brain, all this. And what they discovered is that the brain loves rhythm. The brain loves music. And what that means for us is memory. In other words, we can teach anything if we use rhythm to do so. The student will learn those words so fast if you teach them rhythmically. And it's really true. It's very, very interesting how quickly the students will grab the material of your chant because of the rhythm. The rhythm is important, and the rhythm we're talking about is the basic 1, 2, 3, 4 rhythm of American jazz. That's the traditional early American jazz beat, that 1, 2, 3, 4. Count Basie described it. He said, jazz is 4 beats to the bar, no cheating. That's what he called American jazz, and he's right. 1, 2, 3, 4. So following that 1, 2, 3, 4 beat, we're going to chant our little 2, 3, 1 thing. Teacher starts by counting to set the tempo. So you're going to count for your class. 1, 2, 3, 4. Baseball, basketball, golf. Baseball, basketball, golf. Baseball, basketball, golf. Baseball, basketball, golf. See, it's already beautiful, but let me show you how we can make it even more beautiful. We're going to go baseball, basketball, golf, and then repeat. Baseball, basketball, golf. And now, baseball, basketball, baseball, basketball, baseball, basketball, golf. Now, the other thing that's really fun, where is the wonderful Kathy Kampa? The wonderful Kathy Kampa happens to be here, and she's going to do the dance movement for these things, which would be really fun. Have a student now do the baseball, some kind of a baseball thing, and we're going to all watch her, and then a basketball, look at that, and golf. Okay, now we're going to have this the wonderful body movement going on. If your class is small enough, I would have the students copying the student who's modeling, because, see, again, the brain loves movement. The brain registers from that movement, as well as the rhythm, the words that we're learning, see? So it helps the brain to have that going on. They will remember the word because of the movement, because of the rhythm. That's what's wonderful for us in our language classroom. The students are having fun. They don't even know there's something going on with their brain and they're learning. They're just having a good time because it's fun, you know? So let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Baseball, basketball, golf. Baseball, basketball, golf. Baseball, basketball, baseball, basketball, baseball, basketball, golf. Cool. Thank you very much. So look at, there is your 3-word vocabulary chant, and I'm sure every student in your class would have those 3 words in no time. In no time. And now, we're going to develop it more. We're going to turn it into a grammar chant. But before we do that, let's turn it into a song. Just our 3 words. Let's make a song out of it. Now, baseball, 2 sounds. So we want 2 notes. For example, it could be other 2 notes, but I'm just taking this. Basketball, 3 notes. Golf. See what we got? Baseball, basketball, golf. Baseball, basketball, golf. Baseball, basketball, baseball, basketball, baseball, basketball, golf. Baseball, basketball, golf. Baseball, basketball, golf. Baseball, basketball, baseball, basketball, baseball, basketball, golf. Now, let's turn our simple vocabulary chant into a grammar chant. This is where now it's becoming more interesting, more useful to our classroom, because we don't want to just teach words, we want to teach grammar, we want to teach language. So what we're going to do here is choose a verb that would make sense with this. There are a lot of verbs you could choose. I'm going to take the verb play, but you could take love, hate, watch, you know, like. I mean, there are a lot of words that would work, but I'm going to take play. I'm going to take simple present tense because I like to work with that high frequency, with that third person S. You know, it's so complicated and important. I want subject pronouns, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take he plays baseball. She plays basketball. Look what happens here. They play, no S in the plural. See how nice that is? How nice that is. It's using that very complicated no S in the plural, but S in the third person, But it's giving the students a model that they will learn very quickly. He plays baseball, she plays basketball, they play golf. They play golf. He plays baseball, she plays basketball, they play golf. They play golf. He plays baseball, she plays basketball. He plays baseball, she plays basketball. He plays baseball, she plays basketball. They play golf. They play golf. Another thing that's fun to do, would you be my partner for a minute? Especially if you're working with young ones. Look at what we're going to do is 1, 2, clap, clap, right hands, left hands. Could you get a partner where you're seated and just do this? 1, 2, 3, 4, boom, boom, da, 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 da.
You're right, have them as a partner.
He plays basketball, he plays baseball, he plays basketball, he plays baseball, he plays basketball, they play golf, they play golf. Exactly. Yes, everybody, yes, look. Oh, look. This can be done. Now look, the thing that's interesting, I want to just say to you, I'm a great believer in joy in the classroom. I think that joy leads to learning. I think what will happen, your kids will find this so amusing. You'll see them out in the playground doing he plays bass. They'll be playing this out there as a game. Yeah. They're working on their English. They're working on the simple present tense. They don't know that. They're learning no S in the plural. They don't even know that. They're having fun. He plays baseball. She plays basketball. They play golf. But see how nice that is as a way for the student to practice the grammar in a joyful way. That's the idea. Now, with your statement, I always like to now offer a yes-no question. I think it's very important to practice question formation. So again, we're going to start with the yes-no question. Does he play baseball? See, no S in the plural in the question, see? Does he, also there's another thing about this. Does he play? Does he? You hardly hear the H, and this is a very reduced sound. Does he? It's just does he, not does he. You really don't hear that initial H sound of he. It's a disappearing H sound, very common in spoken American English. If it's an initial H, we have to hear it. He's here. We've got to hear that initial H. But is he here? No H at all. Is he? Does he? See, you don't hear the H. That's important. So here, does he play baseball? Yes, he does. Yes, he. Do you hear that? Yes, he. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Disappearing H. Does he play baseball? Yes, he does. Does she play basketball? Yes, she does. Do they play golf? Yes, they do. See how nice that is? Yes, they do. Yes, he does. It's very difficult grammar. It's very difficult. You see, if you look at the typical textbook with that long explanation of the simple present tense, a lot of students are just not wired for it. They can read it, but it doesn't get through to them. It doesn't get through to me. I'm not wired for it myself. I mean, certain students just don't have the brain to absorb information that way. But to absorb it this way, through music, through rhythm, that's much, much easier. You reach everybody with that. You reach everybody. Not only do you reach everybody, but if you ever find yourself working with students with learning disabilities, autistic children, students in a hospital setting, you will find that you can do so much with them with rhythm, with music, singing, chanting with them. And it's a joyful thing. I'll tell you just a little experience that happened in America. There was a hospital for children. A little girl was in the hospital. She was selectively mute. She had decided not to speak. She was about 7 years old. She was in the hospital being treated, I don't know how. And in that hospital, they had started to use chanting with the disturbed children. having the children chant together every day. And then the mother came to visit the child, stayed for a while, mother went home. And the nurse went to the child and said, "How was your visit with Mommy?" hoping that the child would speak. The child said, "I can't say it to you, but I can chant it to you." And the child began to chant, "My mother doesn't like me, my mother doesn't like me." You see, so painful for her, what she was feeling. That pain, she could not say it, she could not express it, but she could chant it. See, the chanting is safe, it's like music. It allows you a safety to say something that might be very painful to you, to express pain, suffering, fear, anything, you know. That's why it's so powerful. I was, when this terrible thing happened in New York with the weather and this awful, awful, awful disaster going on, I was so sorry I was not there, because if I had been there, I would have tried to find children and chant with them to help them over the fear, you see. Chant and sing with them. That's what I would have done. I would have gone to some shelter and tried to chant with the kids, because it comforts them. It's comforting, it's powerful, is all it is. Now, so now we can write our own chant. We can turn our chant into a song. And I just want to show you some other ideas. This one